panic today, July 5th, 1794, in western Pennsylvania, as hundreds of locals attacked the home of General John Neville. Can America withstand a rebellion of its own? The Colonial News Network has a correspondent at the scene to answer this very question. Jack, to you.
Thanks, Ethan. I'm here with General John Neville, whose home is currently under siege. John, what do you think the next step should be in protecting your home and family?
Well, certainly I'm worried about my house being surrounded by these ruffians. My personal opinion, I think we should get the army down here and dispose of these bastards today.
So, what brings these rowdy citizens here today?
Well, I believe it's because I shot one of them yesterday. I think his name was Oliver Miller.
Okay, so they were here yesterday too.
Yeah, about 50 of them, 30 of which were militiamen. They had come to complain about the whiskey tax that Hamilton had enforced. And they had also wanted me to give up Federal Marshal Lennox. But when I told them to get out of here, they didn't. So now we're here.
Okay, so all of this stems from the whiskey tax.
Yes, yeah. And you could kind of say it's like a whiskey rebellion.
Fascinating. Well, that's all the questions I've got for you, John. Now back to you, Ethan. Good recording, good recording. Is that smoke?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk.
Well, I hope you got out of there in one piece. Current estimates put the number of rebels at about 600. That's a whole lot of whiskey. The excess whiskey tax, or whiskey tax for short, is extremely important to these rebels, as most of their income comes from the sale of spirits. So let's hear it from one of these so-called rebels.
I'm here on the ground with a member of the rebellion and militiaman Kanye Cletus. Mr. Cletus, what are your thoughts on the rebellion today?
Now, I certainly believe it's about time that one of these came down. The big man up in New York has been taxing us for too long. I do remember the days when we were fighting for the states' rights. I wish for that time to be back where we could have that freedom.
So, would you say then that the government is wrongfully taxing the people?
I do believe so. I mean, we're the only ones out here with whiskey. So, I mean, how else could they be taxing us unless it was on our whiskey? And it's just terrible. Where I never elected any of these representatives.
Do you think that the people went far enough today?
To a point, we definitely got our point across with that, with some rioting, and we definitely burned down John Neville's house. So it's, I think George got the picture that we're not messing around anymore.
Yes, I'm with Neville's house. I just got out of there in the nick of time. That was fascinating. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. Back to you, Ethan.
Whiskey?
Don't mind if I do.
Well, that's cool, I guess. Clearly these rebels rely on their distilling and farming for their meager existence. Federal law, though, as we're finding, cannot be brushed off so easily. Now when you hear from that side of the story, our own government. Jack, it's back to you.
Ethan, I've got our very own president, George Washington, here with me. And George, what do you think of this revolt that the people are having?
Well, to be honest, I'm pissed. I'm real upset that I had to come down here with all my men to suppress these whiskey-loving hillbillies. I'm just real mad that we have to try this for our new nation.
All right. And what do you think the next step is moving forward from this hectic event?
Exactly what you just said. Just move forward, keep building, and keep growing what God gave us in this new country. Just hoping that we can do it right.
All right, that's all I've got for you, Mr. Washington. Back to you, Ethan.
Best of luck to you, Mr. President. Right now, there are more than 13,000 men on the ground with Washington, which leads me to predict that our president's efforts to suppress this rebellion will be swift and calculated. The rebels will most likely run home after learning a serious lesson. At the end of the day, everyone just wants this to end quickly so we can get back to our own lives. This will also create a greater divide between the Hamiltonians and Jeffersonians of late, concerning that these rebels will have weak government ideals. It will also leave a lasting impression on anyone else willing to rebel. It's Washington's way of saying, try me. I'm Ethan Sampson, and this has been the Colonial News Network.
So, would you say then that the government is wrongfully taxing the people?
No, most definitely, sir. All we got out here is tip was whiskey. So I mean, what else will they tax us on?
Well, you want to say anything to them?